Welcome back to Digital Champions on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Mike White, and on Digital Champions, we're meeting with experts in the industry to talk about the tips, tricks, trends, and technologies utilized to build a client's campaign. Join us today, David Mountain from Marketing and Advertising Direction.com. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
All right, so with your company, what is the sweet spot, the unique selling proposition on why customers hire you?
Well, we're an agency that provides marketing and advertising strategy, but we do that from a really good place of data. I've been privileged to work at a host of ad tech companies that have been able to learn optimal practices in both banners and emails, retargeting, video, social, etc. And consequently, we're able to seem smarter than we actually are because I've seen the data from about 1,500 different clients that have gone through the pipes. So we're able to look at things and create innovative materials. We're also able to help our clients steer away from things that might trip them up.
What's the biggest change that you see coming up over the next 2 years in the way people market their products and services?
It's kind of a race. On the one hand, you've got 5G that's definitely going to change things at the handheld level. Imagine holographic projections that would change email dramatically or change things out of the handset that is going to create a market for augmented reality. So presentation-wise, that's going to be a big change. On a similar, completely unrelated track is increasing regulatory practices. So as you've got privacy concerns growing out of Europe, growing out of California, growing out of 1,000 other places, frankly, what you will be able to do in terms of your creative and your media buy is going to change dramatically. You also see that a lot with Google trying to end third-party cookies.
What's some advice you'd have for someone graduating college, entering the industry, trying to get a foot in the door? Any tips for their success?
Embrace nuance. We have in our world, there's this tendency to look at a spreadsheet and to say, here's a winner, here's a loser. And what tends to happen a lot of the times is that determination is built on around a single KPI. So if you're looking at something and saying, oh, this got more clicks or this got more sales, are you getting the whole story? Are you getting site engagement? Are you getting retention? Are you getting long-term ROI? Or are you just getting, basically a single metric, while valuable, can really trip you? I had a client who was utterly convinced that interstitials that were oversized were fantastic and required a 500% cost premium, and he was going to purchase them no matter what. Until we were able to show him a heat map and discovered that 90% of his click were all within 10 pixels of the close box, at which point that creative unit became significantly less important to his media buy.
So ultimately, KPIs and measurements of success. What is a basic KPI that you give your customers to measure their campaign?
Well, in creative, folks are still wedded to click, and they shouldn't be, because it's most subject to fraud, and it's also most subject to last click analysis, where I sent you social, I sent you email, I sent you a banner, but only the email was the thing you clicked on, so you think the social and the email isn't important. Realistically, if you were to turn off the social and the email, you would see the email would also go down, or the social and that. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of KPI, what we try and steer people to is mid-funnel. I'm not interested from a creative standpoint to test only things that created sales because they're relatively rare events, and it's extremely hard to get statistically significant confidence level and get to a point where you know definitively that a creative practice was best. Similarly, if you get click, that's great, but you're going to get a lot of metrics that could be skewed. So we try and go click +1 or landing page +1, try and get folks looking at something that's predictive of sale, but still enough to drive us significant variance, because all learning comes from deviation from mean. And what we try and steer our folks to, and as an agency, is not per se A/B testing, but if-then testing. So you did this kind of creative, you did that kind of creative, this kind of creative seems better. What does that mean moving forward for your next round of creative? Because this is a journey. This isn't you made the best ads and now we're all done. You're making these ads and you're going to iterate them and grow with them and continue testing and continue learning.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on the program today. We appreciate you spending time with us.
Thanks, Mike. Proud to be here.
To find out more about David Mountain and all the amazing things that he could do to help your company grow, visit us at dailyadbrief.com. We'll see you next time on Digital Champions.